Hey, all right, welcome back. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco. I don't know if you can see me right now because we had a little technical difficulty right there. But the great thing for you is that we're joined right now by famous social media expert and great friend of the show. She's known as Fog City Midge, but she's also known as Margaret Vandenberg, a.k.a. Fog City Midge. Midge, thank you so much for joining us today. It's just so much craziness going on, and I know you always get yourself right out there in the thick of things. Tell us what's going on the left coast. We hear stuff and see stuff, but I don't know what the media is really feeding us. You're out there every day. What's happening?
You know, there is some that you're seeing on TV, but there's been a lot of things that have just not been widely covered. You know, there was a massive protest, a little over a week ago in San Francisco with tens of thousands of people coming out and protesting to defund the police. And we've also seen in San Francisco the toppling of many, historical statues and monuments. They destroyed 3 statues last week, and in anticipation of this, the city actually removed the statue of Christopher Columbus, which is in the middle of North Beach. It's a historical Italian neighborhood. They actually took down that statue. So these are the things that I think aren't making the mainstream news. There's a lot of focus on what's happening in DC and on the East Coast, but California is seeing the exact same thing that we're seeing in other parts of the country.
So yesterday I was reporting on this that the mayor of Newark, formerly the home of Senator Spartacus, but the new mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, he was under fire to take down the Christopher Columbus. A group of Italian-American societies got together and lobbied him, don't take it down. He said, you're right, I understand its importance and everything else. And then he sent the crew there at 2 o'clock in the morning and they took the thing down anyway. So it's like, wow. I don't understand, me personally, being of Italian-American descent, I don't understand why me looking up to Christopher Columbus as an Italian kid, like, wow, we got the guy who found the country as one of us, why that symbol has to be ripped from us. Like, what harm is that statue doing in the middle of a town square?
You know, that's a really great question. I wish more people on the left would actually answer it, because even if you want to point to, okay, no human is perfect. Every single person has, something in their past that isn't great, even our best leaders. So, to look back in history and to want to rewrite history and take out all the parts that make us uncomfortable is incredibly irresponsible. And it just goes to show that the left never wants to actually build or contribute anything. They could put up another monument next to that statue that sort of has other historical facts, but they don't want that. They want to just tear down anything that they don't like. And it goes back to sort of the comment about what's really happening right now. These protests that we're seeing, they're not about George Floyd anymore. They haven't been about George Floyd for weeks. This is really about a Marxist takeover of the country. And part of what they're doing with that is destroying our monuments, our history, our statues. So, it's not about the thing that they initially said it was about. Now it has just become about destruction and wanting to tear down the country so that they can rebuild it into this Marxist utopia that they dream about.
So this, I've been joking around on the show saying that, our food family is under fire. You got Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima are gone, Eskimo pies are gone, the little Indian lady on the Land O'Lakes butter is gone. The other day I found out that the song that Mr. Softy plays, or the Ice Cream Man plays, is apparently rooted in racism. Our food family's under attack, but this to me seems like the whole thing is the cancel culture on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good way. I mean, it's so funny. You're right. They've come for our food.
That's what I mean.
What's next? What's next? I mean, are they going to cancel the best Southern cooking because they don't like the history of where it came from? I mean, this is insane to me. And to me, I don't really care personally about a cartoon or a face on a syrup bottle, but it's just the sort of knee-jerk reaction that we have to cancel everything that might potentially offend someone. I've yet to find people that are actually genuinely offended by any of these things that you've listed. But
I know,
it's more of
that's
the
what I'm saying.
appearance.
They have such momentum. If it was really a peaceful movement to try to shine a light on an area where probably many people realize that, it's systemic and institutionalized, that left-wing leaders for years have just gone into the minority communities for their votes every 4 years, but they don't improve their schools, they don't improve their hospitals, they don't improve their socioeconomic conditions, they do nothing to improve the nuclear family. So, these people are dealt a bad hand to begin with, and they had some momentum here to say, all right, let's all take a better look at that. And now it's like blown out when they start lighting down buildings and ripping down statues from 300 years ago. I almost think they blew it, Midge.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any, genuine part of this movement that was about trying to improve things in the inner city, that went out the window a while ago when the protesters kind of got drowned out by the rioters. So, yeah, I mean, it's really a shame because there was a massive opportunity here to come together as a country. But as we've seen from the left time and time again, it's really about, an opportunity to play politics. Republicans presented a bill for police reform and the Democrats shot it down. So, I would have loved to see our country come together and actually get something done. But instead, I think the left just wants to continue to ramp up the chaos and the destruction until the election so that they can try to, regain control.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see us come together? George Soros. And the institutionalists on the left like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and the whole team that's really pulling all the puppet strings on Joe Biden's candidacy.
The mainstream Democrat Party.
Yeah. I had Stephen Moore on in hour one today, and he was one of the architects of Trump's economic policy, and he was saying that at one point 6 months ago, we were in the best time ever for minority-owned business startups, minority unemployment, and minority home ownership. And I really think, maybe it was the flashpoint they needed. I'm not going so deep as to say, people saying George Floyd was an actor and the cop was I can't go that far myself. But the flashpoint happened, and now all of a sudden, it's gone to such crazy proportions here that I think they actually want us to be more divided because they're protecting Joe Biden. It's very simple. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that analysis. I think that, they know that they have absolutely no chance in Joe Biden beating Trump if it were 100% just fair, media treating both of them fairly, looking at both the candidates and what they stand for. And, there's absolutely no way that Joe Biden could beat Trump. And the Democrats and the left know this. So they have to sort of stir up and create all of these problems that weren't there so that they have something to campaign on.
No doubt.
All of a sudden, if Joe Biden's saying, I'm going to be the one to restore peace and all the protests and the riots are going to stop, just vote for me. That's their strategy right now, I think, because they've absolutely got nothing else. Trump has destroyed them on policy, on record, on, basically the unemployment numbers. So many communities across America were doing better than ever. And Joe Biden and the Democrats know that they absolutely cannot beat that.
Yeah, Midge, in our last minute here, I have a really good friend who's really high up in the Democratic Party. And he had told me a few months ago that basically they were giving up Joe Biden as a sacrificial lamb. They knew they didn't have anybody that could beat Trump. They were going to roll Biden out there, let him take the lumps. They thought they'd make him a respectable candidate. And I think, Rahm Emanuel said, never let a good crisis go to waste. I think they figured out, hey, all right, now's the time where our plan might be even getting better. They think they can keep him in the bunker and he can get elected. It's sick.
Wow. It's crazy to me, though, that they would sacrifice Joe Biden, like you said. I mean, wouldn't they put somebody out there that actually, if they did get elected, that they would want to have that person in office? I mean, Joe Biden just seems like the craziest choice, given that we've been watching this guy's decline over the past couple of years. there's no way that he can handle a debate or even a press conference.
There's no doubt about it. He's getting scarier by the minute, and I think, you know, this is why they're talking about these spikes and these second lockdowns and everything else, because they know they can't let this guy out of the cave. But Midge, you're the best. Thank you for joining us, and can you come back soon, please? We all need a little more Midge in our life.
Anytime, John. I can't wait.
She's the best. Midge, thank you so much. Fog City Midge, you can find her on all over social media. She's the best of the best. She asks the hard questions. She gets her nose right in there. She goes to the protests, and, you know, she is a staunch conservative and a great supporter of Trump and a great friend of our show. Thank you so much. Quick break, more Liquid Lunch right after this.